guys, and welcome to a very different video. And before we are getting started, I'm just gonna address the situation here. Okay, I'm going to talk about the Covid-19 situation and the situations being dealt with. These are just my thoughts. I've been rendering things out, I've been thinking a little bit, talking to other people, and this is just my way to ventilate things, to vent the situation. So you should really just consider this like a little, when pressure has been building up, you just want to open up and let out the air from that balloon, so to say. And also, we have a really heavy storm going on here outside, so if you hear some crazy noises, it's from that. But anyhow, let's get started. Okay, so feel very welcome to this special segment. I'm Cris, also known as Ekstrand, and I'm running this channel. So why would I do this? Well, the thing is that I have been talking, like I said, to a lot of other creators and people and friends and lovers and all kind of various people. And as the situation is now, we can't go to, a cafe, we can't do the normal things we like to do. And it's not because we could probably do that. That's not what I'm trying to say. But what I'm trying to say is that we care for you. We care for the others in the societies. And as a citizen, I think it's extremely important to keep that in mind. Because you don't know what you have. You could have all kind of stuff, infections and other things that you are not aware of, and you are kind of having them accumulated inside yourself. And when different bacteria and virus are getting, mixed in with other, new things are happening. That's just, logical things. And I am going to divide the whole situation into four different arcs. So to begin with, I'm gonna draw a circle here, because I think it's a little bit more easy if we are doing that. Something like that. That's the situation, and the situation can also be divided into I'm going to try and just be as just be like it is. So that's one half of it, and I know there's no, I'm just trying to make a quarter of this. No problems. There we go. Okay, so we begin with something called the research perspective, and we are also having the more science perspective, things you can prove, stuff like that. And we also have the natural science, and we have the society, the community, the world we are living in. I want to start talking about these fields, the research and the science fields, so to say. If we're going to the research, that is probably where people are working and doing most of the stuff at the moment. I mean, we're talking about medicine, prescriptions, mixtures, quality things that are standardized, tested in a good combination to give you some kind of help about this. That's one perspective. Then we are coming into the more science part here. Things you can prove, things you have evidence for, and you can verify and show them. And these two fields I'm going to leave a little bit open, because I am touching a very sensitive topic if I'm going into these. Because at the moment, we need these. We need those. You guys who are working in those sectors, thank goodness you can do that in somehow. Another really huge society, community sector. Also, thumbs up to you guys who are working there, and that's including myself, because I'm allergic to, pollen and stuff like that. So I'm having some troubles, because everything is like a pancake now. It's blooming and blossoming all crazy, and now it's a storm and it's snowing and everything is totally upside down. which preventing me from going to work. In a normal situation, I could go to work, no problems, but I'm coughing a little bit, I'm just being clear. How things can change. In a normal case scenario, if you have a little cough, you don't have any infections, you don't have any fever, you can just, do the usual stuff. You cough in your elbow, so to say, and you're just using your brain. Now we are in a different perspective, a different situation where my things aren't so relevant. It's more about us, and we are coming to that to that topic in a while. But like I said, the nature is crazy at the moment. So I'm gonna bring in some of the basic elements. We have the earth element, the fire, we have water. We also have the light, the sun, so to say, and in the middle of all this we have the wind. And these are kind of the basic stuff. That's how it is. Everything, all this affects the different sectors here. And this is, at the moment in Sweden, we're having a bit of a cold weather, but it also warm sometimes. And this is pretty good environment for the COVID to grow and take really facts, take really speed and offsprings. And all this also has to do with that we have microcycles in the nature, which give some kind of effects at the vegetation cycles. And how does everything this, going on in the long term use the effects, and how does we see from the biological perspective? Well, it's kind of interesting to go there because we are out in the nature very much, and in the nature you find peace, and nature should be like a safe place, and it is. But also now that very many people, many citizens are also going outdoor. Sometimes, even though you should stay inside, but just use some logical things. And I will come to this now. The thing is that when you are in the society, you have your home. That's a place where you should feel safe. You have your work. And work should be, I can draw it like that in the middle here. Work should be a safe place to be at. But at the moment we are not so safe at our workplaces. Sometimes you can work at home, but sometimes you have to go to the work. And most of the cases, work is a public place, and public places at the moment isn't perhaps the best place to be at. And speaking of places, like I said, you have inside situations and you have situations in the wild. And the wild is, if we're moving that up here, the wild is kind of where you can find peace of mind, where you can, sit down and have your own little peaceful environment. And inside you should also be safe. And at home you should be safe. But the real world is looking a little bit different at the moment, because if you're going to the public places, you could either do healthy things, so to say, you could walk. That's a little guy walking there. Or you could take the bike and bike to your public places to avoid something, the transportations, which is not so good. I have to transport myself from home here to my workplace, and this is going on back and forth. I'm going back and forth here, and I'm going by bus. And I know, bus is not a good place to be at, and I have to say that I am sometimes not feeling so okay by going by bus, but it's the only option at the moment, because it's a little bit too cold in the mornings to bike, because it's not so good for me, so to say. I don't want to, be cool down, having a cold or whatever I can get, you never know. And you say, well, you should dress with jackets and stuff like that to keep you warm. All right, that's easier said than done. I just say, if you have that opinion, do it yourself. And if you're doing it really good, thumbs up for you. But it's a little bit more complicated than this, I think. Because transport and transportations are usually from A to B. From your home, out in the public. And here you have to be extremely careful. And like I said, it's not about you, it's not about me, it's about us. That you are either really active or passive. But the thing is here that since all this is now in a very turbulent situation, we can talk about the society, the public actually. We're rolling up the paper a little bit here. And we're gonna go into the public, like so, and we're gonna move the places like that, and we are now in the wild public. Okay, so what I'm going to, if we're just moving these aside, what I'm going to show you here is something called per capita. We just remove everything here. Okay, per capita. And what is exactly per capita? Well, that is a very nice measurement, and it's calculated by measurements divided in population. Everything you want to measure, you can divide into the whole picture, or actually you're dividing to get like a number. And at the moment in this city where I'm living in, we have in your per capita, you have to be 50 persons per capita. And just to give you simple explanation about this is how it used to be. This is how it was. This is how it used to be. It could be very crowded, Like I said, in the bus here, there is no problems. You could be in the public places. That's how it used to be. You didn't have to think too much about work and stuff like that. But now it has changed. It has really changed that way. You can't be that many in the public. No, you have to keep about 50 persons, or not 50 persons in a bus. That would be ridiculous, but you have to be logical. You have to keep those parameters. How many should be in a bus? If the bus can take, well, let's say 60 passengers, then you have to divide the 50 value, the measurement, and you have to divide it into 60 passengers to get the per capita for the bus. So this is like in a normal workplace. This is how it's now when you are public. It's very, 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 very radical. But you also have to remember something, that when you are in this, so to say, public place, I'm gonna get something to point with. You have to keep in mind that this is your capita, and that is the other person's capita. So your capita cannot interfere with that person's capita. And that has to do with that if different viruses, I'm being really radical here, but if different viruses, different particles from your breath, from your body is getting combined, mixtured with another person's, that is where unpredictable situations can grow out and cause some really bad things going on. And that has to do with these parameters I was talking about before. How Mother Nature is doing. If it's like a good condition for the Covid-19 virus, the virus to get spread. If you are too many people, guess what? You're in for a very bad position, because now you are closer, you are interfering with the other person's per capita. See the difference here? So that is not good, because in the research department here, so to say, they have been doing this research how viruses, and this is not just for the COVID, this is how viruses in general are spreading. It's no magic, it's just pure science and research, that when people's bacteria, virus, and particles you're breathing are getting mixed, that's when unpredictable, vulnerable situations are coming up. And they have actually in the more evidence fashion, so to say, which you can verify, they have a little formula that they have now come up with, that you have something called 13915. And if we're looking, and that has to do with how different how viruses are getting spread. If you have if this person and that person is standing close to each other, you're developing something called a one circle. It's kind of the level 1, a low level of getting infections, getting viruses. But if you are increasing this value to 1, 1, 1, you get 3. And now this is the level 3, which makes it more, you're more vulnerable, and the chances are higher that you will get infections. If one of these 3 people here are having some kind of, virus, you don't know what it is, and then if you are expanding this, you are adding a 4th member, so to say, but a 4th guy here, then you're up to level 9. So now the chances are really extremely high. Now it's like 9th of the chance that any one of these will get something, even though just one person. And if you get into the critical, which is called the level 15, that's really dangerous. That is very critical. So it's not good, because then you're having the risk that if 2 people are infected or having some kind of viruses going on, then it can be up to 15 people getting infected, getting affected by this. So it is that serious. And most people don't know this, or, well, they should know, because it's on the news. You can read articles that are very, very referenced, and this is nothing you just, roll a fat one and smoke late at night to come up with this. This is pure evidence. This is verified data. It's shown, and you can prove it over and over. So just think about this. If we're having that level 1 in this, you're really easily up to level 15 at once. So that is why it's so important to keep distance. Keep your distance. When you are out in public places, you just go and take a walk. Don't walk tight-assed, so to say. Walk apart from each other. It's not so complicated. It's not so complicated. And if you have been out, touching things in the grocery store or whatever, when you're coming home, wash your hands, sanitate yourself. That's also something that will prevent the COVID, or any virus actually, to get spread. Because if we are looking at how a virus is working, virus is constructed by fatty acids and proteins, and they are held together. It's like a jelly ball, but the soap will crack them up. It will break, it will destroy the virus itself. And then the leftovers, so to say, will just stay on the surface. Your hands, for instance, even if you have washed them with soap and you're washing them, the Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, that song, you're doing it twice. 30 seconds, I think, I know, 30 seconds are the recommendations to wash your hands. That's how long you need to do it. Over, under, beneath, the thumbs, everything, the basic stuff. But it's so damned important that you do it now. But then you can have leftovers. So you should also sanitate yourself with some rubbing alcohol, or you have lots of hand gel and stuff like that that will kill not just the germs, but it will also kill the leftovers from the bacteria, from the virus. So that is why you are enlightened to wash your hands so much and sanitate yourself. That is really important, and it also has to do with how the virus works in Mother Nature. And the virus itself can last up to 10 days on a given surface, and it likes to be on metallic surfaces, and plastic, not so much, but like metallic stuff, paper, anything that has a nice contact surface, like glass also. So you have to keep a little bit, you have to keep track on what are you doing. Don't touch on everything. If you are going to the grocery store, just make a little list. You just write down, this I need, that I need, and just go there. Doom. Systematically, you know where the milk is, you know where the bread is, you know where the TP is, and all that. Don't jazz around too much. Of course you can do it. I'm not trying to, tell you something. I'm just giving you some advice and help to prevent the situation. But sometimes I also feel that I have been talking with a lot of guys and a lot of friends, and they are constantly inside at the moment. They refuse to go out because they have some kind of panic things to go to public places or and stuff like that. So the inside, their world is kind of choking the creativity. They are getting choked by everything because the news, the social media is like a flood wave. And I can understand that the media wants to kind of shed some lights on the situation here, but also as a human, I think or citizen, I think you should filter things out a little bit and don't be panicked. Don't feel scared, don't feel afraid, don't feel like death is around the corner. That is not what's going on. You just have to be a bit aware of what's going on. If you're seeing like lots of people, don't run into them. That wouldn't be such a good idea. Keep the distance. Be smart. Think about the per capita thing I was talking about. That is kind of alright. That is kind of what I had to say now, for now. And I hope that this has been some kind of helpful and perhaps, taking a different turn about the situation. And like I said, this is just my points of view, my things I have done, my research, so to say, a little hobbyist researcher I am. But it also has to do with I am very interested in these sectors, in these 4 sectors. I like to do analysis myself, and I like to walk between the different sectors here, between the research, the science and nature science. I think these and the society community, of course, because I'm working as a teacher, so I'm in the middle of the society community thing, even though some situation, like I said, the transportations for me are really stressful. I'm trying to just focus on different thing on the bus and keep distance, to keep myself distanced. And if the bus is too filled, too full, I'm just getting off. I'm bumping out. I'm taking another one, just because I want to be safe, and I want my citizens, I want the other passengers to be safe. So you have to think a little bit out of the box. So yeah, this said and done, I hope, like I said, that this little segment has been a bit of an informative thing. Maybe it has been giving you some inspiration about how you can tackle the situation, how you can, go from being that little crumbled thing in the corner of, that little cookie jar to, broaden some perspective, grow as a content maker, grow as a person, grow as an isolated person if you're into that, the lockdown situation. And don't be afraid, just respect what's going on in the world at the moment. Don't fear it, don't make nightmares that aren't nightmares. Just wake up, smell the coffee. This isn't the end of the world. We have had similar situations before. I'm thinking about SARS, I'm thinking about the Ebola virus, and they have something common. They are from the nature. Also, you shouldn't be eating everything, especially what you're thinking with the brain. You shouldn't be eating brains. Just saying. And I hope to see you in another one. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That subscribe button, just give it, smash that like button if that's something you're into. 2020 style, it's up to you. Okay, I will probably see you in another one. So for now, take good care about yourself. Take care about yourself and others. We are in this together.